All right, Michael Recycles, April 28th, Monday morning, here in Brimfield Township, beautiful Portage County, Ohio. I got my original Insta360 back. Oh, tag that container there. Got my original Insta360 back from being repaired. It actually looks like they just sent me a brand new one. So I got it mounted up in the hopper. So we'll be able to have two views today. A little bit anyways. Battery only lasts about an hour. And so I thought I'd get the camera rolling during sunrise here, because that is one of my favorite parts about the job, is getting to watch the sunrise. So this is Brimfield Township. Doug and I tag team this route. And then our buddy Robert, he took off today. So we gotta go to Suffield afterwards and go cover his route. So we're getting this one knocked out, and then we're gonna go hit another route afterwards, which should pack my truck out. Might not be able to get it all. We might have to rely on the third truck after his route to come help us out. This is a situation where breaking down your cardboard boxes and flattening them would have been greatly appreciated. Now you've thrown me off my groove. And then after we finish Suffield today, we have Charm Center for Hard to Recycle Material until 2 o'clock. So one of of the people at the office will have to cover for us until we get back. And of course, Larry. Larry will have to cover for us. Good old Larry. Gave that one too much. Gave it too much. That was a fail. Oh boy. A little bit slow. So try and keep everything in there. There we go. So my problem with doing a long video like this is I don't really know what I'm supposed to talk about. I started here in March 2020, and it is now April 28th. 2025, so I've been doing this for 5 years. This is another situation here where breaking down your cardboard would have been appreciated. Probably could have got, if you would have flattened all your boxes, probably could have got them all in there and helped me out a little bit. Would have been nice. Would have been appreciated. So I've been doing this 5 years. I came right out of truck driving school and landed this job. And it's been mostly good. First couple years were rocky. There's a lot more routes, a lot more drivers, and a lot more broken down trucks. So we had a lot of long days. Might be able to grab this. Maybe. Hope if I can see it. Oh, I messed it up. I'm just gonna have to get out. I messed it up. That's a fail. There's styrofoam in that one. Styrofoam. Do not accept. So when I first started here, I had to go through a month of training. My very first day, I got sent to Kent, ride with a guy named Paul in truck 4118 on a curbside route. And then after my first day, I spent 2 weeks in a front load truck, 3816, and so I did front load for 2 weeks, and then for about a month I was in 3303, which was our Freightliner rear load. So 2003 Freightliner, and I was with Andy, just riding rear load because they didn't have a truck for me. So then, after about a month of that, I volunteered to work a midnight shift for 2 weeks. I would just run the trucks overnight to the recovery facility and empty the trucks all night long. So, you know, 7 or 8 trucks every night. I would go run and dump them over at the Akron MRF. And then when I came back from midnights, Andy went into the garage to be our new mechanic, and I sort of took over the rear load route. Which was, you know, basically commercial. It's basically a commercial rear load route. But a lot of times the guys were so busy doing curbside, and we'd have so many breakdowns of trucks that I would go help out on curbside routes, the rear load. A lot of times by myself. If you've ever done rear load collecting by yourself, it's not fun. However, it was a little bit skinnier then. Automation has definitely not helped me in the So I did commercial rear load for months. And then, you know, once a year we bid on routes or whatever, and the route was taken from me by someone with more seniority. So then I went curbside, but I didn't have a truck really. So I drove, didn't have a dedicated truck, I should say. So I drove a lot of, you know, whatever was available. So I got to drive a lot of different rental trucks. So I've driven Macs, driven, you know, mostly auto cars, but we rented a few Mac trucks. Different bodies, you know, Heil bodies, livery bodies. I did drive a demo truck that was a Dennis Eagle, and it had a New Way body on it, Sidewinder I think it was called. But we had these autocar trucks that had a Parker hybrid transmission in them, and they were terribly unreliable. It was a miracle if you made it an entire week without having a problem. We had some that would literally have an issue. I mean, every day sounds hyperbolic, but it was probably almost every day. We had one unit that you had to bring a laptop with you because the transmission would just throw a code while you're running the route, and then you'd be stranded until you reset the code. And I don't know what was wrong with it. I have no idea. But I was training somebody one day, and I brought the laptop with us, and we must have broke down a dozen times that day, where I had to hook the laptop up to the truck and reset codes about a dozen times just to get the route finished. And I think that sort of scared away a guy that was in training, a new hire, because he didn't last too much longer after that. But yeah, we called them Parker trucks. They ran off of some Parker hybrid transmission that used compressed gas and compressed air or something, and hydraulic fluid, and other mechanisms. I don't even know to the full extent how they work. I know they had a hydraulic pump in them that would go bad, and it was a $10,000 pump or something. Tried replacing them and rebuilding them, and we had 5 of these trucks, and all of them were just junk. By the time the county auctioned them off, 4 of them did not run out of 5, and the 5th one, the Cummins engine had a knock, so something broke in the engine. Which that is the only Cummins engine so far that I've seen in my truck driving career that I've seen go bad like that, have a knock. State Route 18, Talmadge Road. So at this time, we also had a few Corrado can trucks, but 2 of them were being used without the Corrado can for front load service. Because one of our Mac front loads, the PTO pump locked up the engine or something. And it was pretty old, so I don't think they bothered to fix it. Or they ran the engine out of oil or something. I don't remember. Sort of knew at the time when that happened. And then the other truck caught fire before I ever worked there. The other front load truck, so they had to take the Corrado can trucks off of curbside duty and put them on front load duty. And then we had 2 trucks that had regular Libre or however you pronounce it, trucks like mine with that regular Allison transmission. But I basically did not have a truck of my own until 2022 when I got this truck. And this has been my dedicated truck ever since. So I've driven a lot of stuff, you know. All the trucks that had the Parker transmission, they had a Heil body on them with a Python arm. And I don't want to like disparage the Heil company, but the Python arm is like not good. If you're an operator, it's not. I don't know anybody that would prefer a Python arm over this style of arm and claw. The Python arm is like offset. The claw is offset from the arm. So if somebody puts their container close to a mailbox or a car, or you got 2 containers next to each other, there's a good chance you're hitting the other object. Or you're just going way slower, because if you don't, you are going to hit another object. And it doesn't have the reach. They didn't reach out as far. Check out the sunrise, drink a little coffee, living the dream. You know, there are so many different jobs in the trucking industry. This is definitely one of the better ones.